Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such. And now I fear that we like the terrorists is the new that. Liberals need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children. The Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the young are with the terrorists. That's not good. So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in
Bill Maher just took a brutal swing at young Democrats, and it's downright entertaining. The sharp-tongued liberal comic isn't buying the hype, claiming the so-called fresh generation is basically a rerun of the old guard, stumbling into the same tired blunders. In a scorching monologue, Maher torched sacred progressive talking points, shredding the youthful idealism many cling to. Buckle up. This one stings.
Serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is. Although don't get Tucker Carlson started on Russia. But
this is actually a deeply worrying stat. If 1 in 4 young Democrats is disenchanted and disinterested in America, then we are staring at a future in real trouble. A nation cannot survive if its own youth lose faith in it. Sure, America isn't perfect. No country is. But compared to much of the world, this place is paradise. The fact that so many young people see it differently speaks volumes. It's not about reality. It's about conditioning. This is the product of years of left-wing indoctrination that paints America as the villain rather than the beacon of freedom it truly is. And if this mindset keeps spreading, the America we know could be slipping away right before our eyes.
But the U.S. is leagues ahead of the rest of the world on most of the progressive issues that are important to young people. America has 14 million women-owned businesses. 17% of black women are starting businesses, which is faster than white women or white men. Gay Americans are free to marry, and 49% of them own property. Yes, in America, gays buy buildings. In other places, they get thrown.
In many countries across the Middle East and in several parts of Africa, the reality for the LGBTQ community is grim. Gays can't openly celebrate their sexuality without risking severe punishment, imprisonment, or even death. Out of fear, many are forced to hide in the shadows, living double lives where secrecy becomes survival. Some even enter marriages with the opposite sex just to deflect suspicion while secretly meeting their true partners behind closed doors. The oppression doesn't stop there. Look at the plight of women. In several of these regions, women still face harsh restrictions on their freedoms, and the idea of owning and running a business remains unthinkable in many places. It's the harsh truth few want to face.
Old movies you think are cringe? Well, they're cringe because America changed. Because we modernized way more than most societies have. Our current Congress is the most racially and ethnically diverse ever. They're like a beautiful, useless rainbow. And we proudly live in a land where every TV commercial features a mixed-race couple, including the ones where it makes no sense. Mom's black, dad's white, and the kid's Asian.
Yep. America has bent over backwards time and time again to accommodate, please, and even elevate every group within its borders. From the LGBTQ plus community to racial minorities and beyond, every successive administration, regardless of party, has rolled out policies, programs, and initiatives designed to factor in racial dynamics, uplift marginalized voices, and showcase our commitment to diversity. On paper, it sounds noble, celebrating differences, embracing multiculturalism, and ensuring everyone feels recognized. But at some point, you have to ask, when does bending over backwards start to look more like breaking our backbone? Diversity should be about strength, not division. Unfortunately, too often, it's become a political tool, a way to score points rather than truly unify the nation. America's leaders keep parading inclusivity. Yet, The country feels more fractured than ever. Maybe it's time to rethink whether these efforts are uniting us or quietly tearing us apart.
But here is the dilemma for Democrats. Their young people, their key constituency, not only don't like their own civilization, they like the wrong one. They actually think Hamas is a liberation movement. They chant for the Houthis. They're chanting, "We will honor our martyrs" at Yale. They're looking for love in all the wrong countries. Someone needs to tell the kids that America is not the society where women basically have no rights, where there's zero freedom of religion and where dissent is punishable by death. Our democracy may be on life support, but we still have elections. They don't.
Many of the freedoms we casually take for granted in America are the very same rights people in other corners of the world would literally risk their lives to attain. The ability to speak freely, to worship or not without fear, to protest against the government, to vote, to love who you choose, and to pursue opportunity on your own terms. These are luxuries for millions elsewhere. Yet somehow, our younger generation seems blind to this reality. Instead of appreciating the freedoms they've inherited, many are quick to point fingers and insist that America is the problem. Even worse, they romanticize countries that trample on human life and suppress basic rights as though those places embody some kind of moral high ground. It's both naive and dangerous. If we don't teach the next generation to value what we have, we risk losing the very freedoms that make America exceptional.
This year, when an Irish rap group projected onto screens, "Fuck Israel, free Palestine," got big applause. "Globalize the Intifada" is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problems.
It's honestly sad to see the kinds of causes young Democrats are so eager to throw themselves behind. Many of them seem more passionate about championing foreign ideologies or praising nations that actively suppress freedom than they are about protecting the liberties we already enjoy here at home. But let's play along for a second. Let's even grant their claim that some of these countries are supposedly doing better than America. How exactly does that help us? Do they really want us to copy systems that crush dissent, silence free thought, and strip away democracy? Should we abandon free speech, toss out the very principles that made America a beacon of hope, and model ourselves after nations where citizens live in fear of their own government? If that's the vision, then they're not fighting for progress. They're fighting for aggression disguised as enlightenment.
At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, "This is not a symbol of freedom. This is."
Everything young Democrats believe today, their worldview, their rhetoric, their marching orders, has been spoon-fed to them by the older generation of left-wing leaders. The likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Zohran Mamdani, Ilhan Omar, and Gavin Newsom have carefully shaped their thinking, drilling into them the idea that America is broken, corrupt, and undeserving of pride. Instead of instilling gratitude for living in one of the freest, most prosperous nations in history, these figures encourage them to idolize foreign systems, even those with far fewer rights and freedoms. It's a steady drumbeat. Glorify others, vilify America. The result, a whole wave of young Democrats who see patriotism as outdated, who mock the very foundations of the country that gives them their platform. What they don't realize is that this mindset doesn't just weaken political discourse. It undermines America's unity and fuels the slow erosion of national pride.
If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed. Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party.